Oh, wait. One sec. Yeah, that's fine. Abusio, my name is Snowcam, and I'm going to be doing my initial thoughts of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Here we go. Overall, cinematography of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is very nice. I mean, what do you expect from Quentin Tarantino, am I right? My favorite thing about it is probably the long takes, how he'll use a long take with some nice movement in order to replace, like, multiple angles, like a shot reverse shot. That I love when people do that, especially when Rick Dalton is filming in that new cowboy TV show. The camera's like moving around in order to like not use multiple angles. I also really like in that scene how the camera is diegetic. When Rick Dalton messes up the take, they have to move the camera back on the track in order to do it again. I just think that's such an interesting way of doing it. You don't really have a diegetic camera in a movie unless it's like a mockumentary or something. I really liked it overall. The lighting, I thought the nighttime scenes were really nice, especially Rick Dalton being in the pool and being lit up by the pool lighting. Just the way the water disperses it is a very nice even tone. Next up, acting. The acting overall is really spot on. I think Tarantino does a great job in directing his actors. I mean, if you saw Brad Pitt in World War Z, you definitely know that he could definitely do a lot worse. So having DiCaprio and Pitt together, I thought their relationship and their chemistry was really strong. And I was especially surprised by the young girl actress in Cowboys. I thought that she was just so good. I mean, I know that she's probably a lot older than she looks, but at the same point, having that talent to just be like a straight actress, I just thought that was cool. Story. I consider Once Upon a Time in Hollywood a nothing movie. Now, what I call a nothing movie is something like the Florida Project, where it's a non-linear story, and it seems a lot more like life, where you don't really learn something every day, like a hard lesson, you're just kind of like gradually changing. I went to the movie with a couple of other people, and they thought it was really boring apart from the end. Well, really, I find it kind of the opposite. I find a lot of the movie very interesting to find these characters developing. It's really just a slowed down movie of these two guys trying to make it through the acting career and also just experiencing the different sides of it and interesting people, interesting places. And it's just really entertaining overall. And then you get to the ending and it's not expected, but it's also so separate from everything else that the movie is trying to do. It's still lovely, it's still shot really well, it's still like amazing to watch, but at the same point it feels totally disconnected. Characters. Now the characters in this story are a little strange, which isn't necessarily bad. It's just that some don't really do things right, or they're written in a certain way that makes them feel boring. One example would definitely be Cliff. Cliff is a very interesting character to watch in those earlier scenes in the movie when he's beating people's heads into cars and beating up Bruce Lee and that. It's really fun, but at the same point, he really seems overpowered in a lot of situations. He's the strong badass that's been through everything and killed his wife and this stuff, and it doesn't really seem to affect him in any way. And then the ending kind of peeved me a little bit because he's on all the drugs, he's on all the alcohol, and he's still able to fend off with two girls with knives and a guy with a gun. I know he's strong, I know he's got a dog that was nicely incorporated into the story to bite that guy's balls off, but at the same point, it just seemed too OP. Probably the most interesting character on screen is Rick Dalton. I like how he's both helpless, but he also like saves his own ass in his own way. And I think that Rick is such a nice contrast to Cliff. Honestly, I would be talking about the other characters, but I don't really remember them very well. That's all I have to say about that. Last thing I want to talk about is the narrator. because I have no idea why he exists. He's just there to, like, get the story straight when Rick Dalton lies at the beginning of the movie, and then he comes back in a random point to refresh everybody on what's happened in some events that have gone on off screen and the evolution of Rick Dalton's career. And personally, I think this could have been done in a better way. I feel that a narrator is kind of a cop-out. This is one of the better examples of a narrator being used than some other movies that I've seen recently, but still, I don't see a point in him being there. Overall, the movie is really good. I'm not gonna hate it. I would watch it again probably a couple times just because it is really nice to see the characters interacting with one another, and I probably missed a whole bunch of stuff in my first viewing, but I think there are some things that could be improved on. Everyone does things that they put a lot of hard work in, and it's clearly shown in this movie, but at the same point it's good to, like, bring out its flaws and try to iron out the sheets for next time. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye!